Hey YouTube, how's it going? Venomman20 here tonight. For those of y'all who don't know me, I have been keeping reptiles now for about 20 years and researching the whole time that I have been keeping them. I've been working with large constrictors for about 12 years now. I worked at a zoo for a short period of time as a venomous snake handler. I also worked at a serpentarium breeding rare venomous snakes for zoos. So I've been researching quite a bit on large constrictors, and ever since I heard about the Burmese pythons in the Everglades, I got interested in the story. I started researching it. And I've been looking, and it's just blown up here real recently. They have allowed people to go out and start hunting the Burmese pythons for a $25 fee. Anybody can go out and hunt them in the Everglades. A lot of people have asked me why don't I go down and do this, mainly because I think it's a waste of time. There's not the numbers that they say that there are, and I'm not going to waste my time looking for something that's not there. It's the same reason I don't go Bigfoot hunting. Anyway, with that being said, I want to go ahead and share my side of the story since everybody's sharing theirs and half of theirs ain't true. If you find any wrong information on this and you think it's wrong, go ahead and comment below. I'm not perfect. I can get some of it wrong, but I'm going to get more right than any one of the media stations out there. So first and foremost, the main thing I have wrong about the story is originally they said there was 100,000 Burmese pythons running loose in the Everglades. This is 100% false. They are isolated to a very small population. They just can't go out of there because it's too cold. The climate's not right for them, so they're stuck. It's at a very small pocket. If there was 100,000 instead of that very small pocket, you would be tripping over them every time you go outside. That very small pocket, Miami, is in that very small pocket, a very densely populated area. So anybody in Miami would be going outside seeing these snakes all the time. Seeing a very large snake, 10, 12, 15 foot, first thing I would do is go out and catch it. But first thing your normal person would do is call the law. The law is going to send that call to Miami-Dade County Anti-Venom Unit 1. They will go out, they will remove the snake, and they will euthanize it or send it to a zoo. Most of them are euthanized. With that being said, 2009, in my opinion, is where it was pretty much at the max, as the most Burmese pythons out there. They got, if I'm not mistaken, it was right at 107, 114, maybe 116 calls within a 365-day year. So, let's say every third day, they would get a phone call about a Burmese python. So Miami's a huge town, and 2 times a week they would get a phone call that there's a Burmese python. So, you know, there's some private snake catchers out there, but there's not that many. So it kind of goes to show you there's not 100,000 Burmese pythons. I know they're masters of camouflage, but still, you're going to see them. They are going to come into the open. But anyway, the next problem I have is people say that they were a direct result of people letting their pets go. People own Burmese pythons, they get too large, they let them loose in the Everglades. This happens. I mean, we all know it happens. There's a lot of careless pet owners out there. But with that being said, they have taken a large number of these Burmese pythons that they have captured. They've taken DNA from them, and they ran the DNA and found out that 90% of them, I don't know the actual percentage, but the large, huge group of them all stems back to a couple snakes. And those couple snakes are thought to originally came from when Hurricane Andrew hit. It took out a large a guy owned a large breeding facility down there, an importation facility, where he kept Burmese pythons, and they got loose and they bred in the Everglades. So all these are just babies that you're seeing. Well, not 12-footers or babies, they're older than that, but you know what I mean. Anyway, next main problem I have is that they're wiping out all the indigenous species. Burmese pythons do eat other animals. Everybody knows this. They're meat eaters. They eat live prey. But that's all they do. They don't hunt for fun. They just eat a couple birds, you know, a week. And, you know, if there is 100,000 Burmese pythons, we would have a problem, but the numbers ain't that large. So competing with the other, you know, predators, alligators, they're not going to run the alligators out. We do need to take care of this problem. I'm not saying that we can't or that we don't need to take care of it, but They might make a couple species go extinct, which is a horrible, horrible, horrible thing, but they didn't make as many animals go extinct as feral cats did. Feral cats on average make 44 animals go extinct a year. Feral cats are in every state of the United States running loose. So they're trying to outlaw Burmese pythons, but they're not outlawing cats. You know, I've been attacked by a cat. It really hurts. I've never been attacked by a Burmese python. It's weird because I keep Burmese pythons, but I don't keep cats. You know, I mean, I was trying to catch the cat, but I had reason for trying to catch the cat. But still, regardless of that being said, you know, cats are a much bigger threat than the Burmese python to the native species. So I don't know why they're using that, you know, on their side of the fight. But of course the news sensationalizes a lot of these stories, stretches them way out of proportion, just so then they can get more viewers. I mean, that's the bottom line of the whole thing, is they're trying to get as many viewers as they possibly can. But anyway, the headline that I read today that made me really want to do this video is that they're using guns, knives, and drills to kill the Burmese pythons in the Everglades. Okay, guns and knives. I can see the knife, I can see the gun. You know, you carry the knife with you, you shoot it with the gun, you cut its head off, whatever. A drill? Why are you going to try to kill a snake with a drill? You know, if I go hunting, I never carried a drill on me. That's actually kind of morbid. You know, I have nothing wrong with you hunters going out and killing deer, killing rabbits, whatever. But a drill? Have you ever tried to kill a rabbit with a drill? That's just barbaric in my eyes that you would stoop to that level. But whatever. It's kind of gross. The fact is, the Burmese python roundup, they have $5,000 in prize money. 0 Burmese pythons have been caught in the Everglades since this started one day ago. 24 hours, 0 Burmese pythons. What does this tell you? Well, they're hard to find. I mean, there's 800 people out there looking for them, and 0 people have found any. So, you know, I had a friend of mine, Robert Kesey. You know him from Swamp Brothers, the TV show. I was up at Chicago Tinley Park Reptile Show, and I actually had the chance to talk to Mr. Kesey. And he talked about his producer sent him down by Miami, put him in a motel room for a week to go out and find Burmese pythons in the wild. After a week, he found 0. He's a professional snake hunter. This is what he does for a living, is find snakes and sells them. He could find 0. So the producer said, hey, let's go ahead and go catch or buy a Burmese python from a friend down the street, and we will let it loose and you can go catch it and act like you found it. He's like, I'm not going to do that. That would hurt, you know, my business. And so anyway, I really respect him for saying that like that, you know, and putting a stop to that. Because that's what a lot of the news crews do, is they let a pet snake loose and go catch it and act like it's a wild one. But, you know, whatever. I mean, I can't stop them from doing what they do. But he couldn't find any. I've had other friends go down and find 0 Burmese pythons. So there used to be 100,000, but now there's 0. Why is this? You know, I think there's probably about 10,000, it's my guess. But regardless, where'd they all go? CNN went down there right in the spring, what was it, spring of 2010 or spring of 2011, they went down there looking for the Burmese python. In 2010, we had the coldest winter down in Florida that they've ever had. I mean, it was down in 28, 20, I mean, it was very cold, water was freezing. Well, needless to say, Burmese pythons are not meant to be kept like that. I had a Burmese python and my heater went out. The house dropped down to 55 degrees for one night and it died from a respiratory infection. It took a week for that snake to die. That was a 12-foot long snake and it passed away. I did everything in my power to bring it back. You know, gave it medicine and everything else, and it did not survive. So the fact is, they cannot survive those temperatures. They cannot make it out of Florida. Florida is where they're isolated. It's very sad that it happened. We do need to take care of it, but that's where they're stuck. That winter, it got down to like 20 degrees. CNN went out there to do a news report. They actually had tracking devices in Burmese pythons trying to locate their master den, as they would refer to it. And they found 10 Burmese pythons with tracking collars in them, or tracking devices in them, little chips, all of them being dead. 10 Burmese pythons. Every single one they found was dead. They had froze to death. So that's what happened to the Burmese pythons. So hunters, good luck. If you found something, I hope it's truthful, that you didn't buy it at the pet store and tried to look bad by catching a captive-born snake. But anyway, I don't believe they're still down there. I mean, there might be one or two that people let loose, but those people need to go to jail, in my opinion. I think every animal like this should be microchipped. You know, so then if somebody finds this outside, this little boa constrictor, it can come right back to me and I can get in trouble for it, not you, not the other reptile keepers. Anyway, I have a large snake week coming out in June. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on that, so you can learn a lot more info about these amazing creatures. And hope you all enjoyed this video. It's been a Man 20. Don't forget to check out my Facebook page. Y'all have a wonderful night.